White hat hackers save $195 million in TVL on a Cardano DEX. DEX aggregators are going to change the game for Cardano DeFi, and is now the right time to be buying ADA ahead of the June hard fork. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. My name is Pritesh with Kaizen Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Cardano DeFi, sharing with you all some of the different projects that have quite a few developments happening recently. So if you all do enjoy this content here today, please be sure to drop a like for me. If you want to stay updated with more Cardano content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Now, for those of you who are taking part in Cardano DeFi, you may have heard recently with what's been going on with Minswap. So there was a vulnerability patch that has just been fixed. There was an issue with the Minswap smart contract that would have caused that $195 million worth of TVL to be potentially exploited, essentially all those funds being drained from the smart contract. So the Wingriders team, another DEX that is building on Cardano, came out and said, hey, we found this problem. Luckily, this code for Minswap was open sourced. They were able to take a look at it, and their white hat hackers had gone about to find this exploit. So let's take a look at more details here. Very nice to see the transparency of both of these teams. This news came out just yesterday, and I've been doing my best to keep up with it and get educated and explain what exactly it is that they found. So the TLDR, they both posted Medium articles saying that the Minswap team was notified of a critical vulnerability in their smart contract, essentially allowing somebody to drain all the liquidity. After putting safeguards in place to prevent this from happening, they essentially put their DEX into maintenance mode, so nobody could really exploit this if they had found out. And what they did was they used this same vulnerability to transfer all of these funds and the positions that were already created on the DEX to a new smart contract that had a patch in place that addressed this vulnerability. So the benefit of doing this is that all the positions currently on the Minswap DEX are still intact. So if you do have any type of liquidity that's provided to the protocol, your funds are safe. There is no way for the Minswap team to now even go back and be able to change any of these positions that you've created because this vulnerability has been patched. So it's very nice to see that this has been addressed very quickly. We're going to take a look at more details and figure out exactly the details and the technicals of how this could have been exploited. So Wingriders had also come out with their own Medium article giving us more information about why they did this, some of the things that they had seen regarding the Minswap smart contract that had caused them to see this vulnerability. So in order for us to be able to understand how this had all taken place, we need to understand how the Minswap DEX works. So in order to create a liquidity pool, a special pool NFT is minted and locked inside of the pool by the initial liquidity provider. Whenever a user provides liquidity, LP tokens are minted on demand and given to the liquidity provider. We can say that LP tokens represent the liquidity offered by the provider and can be redeemed for the share of the liquidity later on. The Minswap minting policy allowed minting LP tokens if a corresponding pool NFT is found on any script address in the transaction output. Put together, the assumption for minting the LP tokens is that only one pool NFT can exist for a single liquidity pool. The pool NFT is supposed to be locked inside the particular liquidity pool and can never be unlocked. And the second assumption is that whenever a pool NFT is in a transaction output on that pool script address, a script validator should have validated the transaction. So now what they said is that these assumptions did not hold to be true. By discovering this vulnerability in the minting policy governing the pool NFT minting, an attacker can create any number of pool NFTs that already match existing pools, take ownership of them, and then put them in any script which the attacker can control. They went on to say that the attacker can then simply mint any number of LP tokens for that pool using the maliciously minted and unlocked pool NFT. The attacker at this point owns an arbitrary number of LP tokens for any existing liquidity pool, which can be equivalent or more to the amount owned by actual liquidity providers. Liquidity providers can redeem liquidity, and the attacker is no different, so the attacker is able to withdraw all liquidity from the given pool. So the Wingriders team had brought this vulnerability to the Minswap team's attention. They also advised them to do a full re-audit, pull funds, and re-release only after a thorough check of the contracts. Since they felt confident that patching contracts would be sufficient, they passed on the additional vulnerabilities that they didn't fully investigate. So there are some things that are currently still being worked on. From what we've heard from Minswap, there is going to be a version 2 of their DEX, which is going to have patches for these additional vulnerabilities. Now, it's not to say that funds are not safe on Minswap. We've seen already that they have already conducted the patch for their new smart contract, and they've exploited their own vulnerability to be able to move the funds over into that patched smart contract. So funds are safe. And what they have stated here as well is that it is no longer possible for the Minswap team to unilaterally move liquidity. As part of their resolution, what they have also stated is that for additional security that they've decided to temporarily make new pool creation permissioned. This is undesired in terms of decentralization, but it helps them to make sure pool creation is well formatted, avoid duplicated pools by accident or malice, and gives more safety control if a vulnerability discovery were to happen again. In the Minswap DEX v2, with the help of the upcoming hard forks and ledger updates, we're going to move into a more decentralized and trustless model, and they're going to be releasing their formal process for pool creation in the coming weeks. They've stated that moving forward, Minswap will release its new contracts in the near future once specific processes and benchmarking are complete. So with their code being open source, they are taking the correct measures and steps to be able to guarantee the security of their smart contract. Now, I just really like to commend both of these teams for coming out and being so transparent and upfront. We all know that the DeFi ecosystem on Cardano is truly in its infancy. And I think that what we've seen here is true collaboration. Even though these two teams are theoretically competitors, we're still able to offer a hand when we see a teammate down. And I just put out a tweet that really just emphasized what I was feeling about the cooperation between these two projects. I think it's really important to pay attention to this because $195 million in TVL, that's very big. And for one of the largest DEXs on Cardano to have potentially been in that position where we would have seen a hack by a nefarious actor, that could have spelt a lot of FUD for the entire Cardano community. So I think that with both of these teams looking at the bigger picture and being able to collaborate on something like this and find a solution so quickly really does prove testament to why this community is truly resilient. I had put out a tweet saying that in today's world where information is available to everyone at the touch of a button, the value of one's knowledge is not based on how much you know, but rather in how you apply that knowledge to improve the lives of those around you. So it's truly resonated with me in this sense with this collaboration between Wingriders and Minswap. Kudos to both teams. The Wingriders team also did reach out to me and I invited them onto the channel. So hopefully we will be able to have a conversation with them to learn more about this and why it's significant. Next up, I wanted to share some information regarding another Cardano DEX. MuesliSwap has brought us a DEX aggregator. Huge news, really incredible to see this. They've posted on their Twitter the link to be able to check out their beta for this DEX aggregator, essentially allowing you to find the best price for your swaps of any tokens of any of the DEXs available on Cardano. So this is huge. I think what this does is it really changes the game for DeFi because you don't necessarily have to go to a single platform. With a DEX aggregator, you can use one system to be able to find the best prices of any tokens on any DEX. So as other protocols launch, we will step by step integrate them into our DEX aggregator to make sure we always find the best price for you. We are still in beta mode and appreciate any community feedback. I took a look at the beta that they have for their swap. So you can do an instant swap or you can set a limit price if you do want to execute a swap at a specific token price. And of course, this is all still a work in progress. This is currently in beta, but very cool to see a DEX aggregator for Cardano DeFi. A great update from MuesliSwap. Now, last bit of Cardano DEX and DeFi news. So for everybody, for all of our KAIZN stake pool delegators who are participating for Sunday tokens, thank you all so much. The time has just been flying, so the airdrop period will conclude after Epoch 329. Today is actually an ADA payday, so congratulations to all you Cardano holders for getting that passive ADA income. The token claim dates are going to be coming up very soon. Essentially, what we're going to do is make it very simple. There's going to be a Google form that's going to be available on my Twitter. So if you haven't already followed me on Twitter, make sure you do so at Kaizen Crypto. Essentially, it's just a Google form where you would fill out a little bit of information, tell us where to send your tokens, and that's it. We'll handle the rest. So it's going to be very exciting to see this. I just wanted to say thank you again to everybody who has been showing us love and support throughout all this. As you all know, it's only possible for me to create this content, build the different platforms that we're working on, such as Lovely Saga, Cardano Calendar, and to be able to create additional passive income for you with our stake pools. So big thank you again to everybody. There's going to be lots more cool things that we're going to be working on as these projects come up. As you guys know, we're going to be world mobile Earth node operators. Stay tuned for what we have in store for you all there. Lots of exciting things coming up. And closing out this video for today. So there's been a lot of talk about the Cardano price. We broke above $1 finally. It's a big relief to see us back above $1. One of the biggest updates that we have that's coming up very soon is the Vasil hard fork. This essentially is going to be a network upgrade that's going to provide even further node optimizations. We're going to have increases in the throughput of the blockchain. So a lot of cool things that are going to be happening here in the month of June. This is a chart that we see that talks about the price as it relates to the Cardano hard forks. What we saw back in 2020 in July was the Shelly hard fork. Pretty crazy to think that we're almost going on 2 years of proof of stake on Cardano. Not a single moment of downtime. But what we saw was that this was the price at around about July, and following after that, we did see quite an exponential rise. We had the Mary hard fork in March of 2021 that brought about native assets on Cardano and continuing to rise. Next, we had Alonzo, which brought about smart contracts, and we did see quite a little bit of a decline following the rest of the market. But if history is indication, we've seen that with 2 out of the 3 hard forks for Cardano, we have had an increase in the price of ADA. So will that be the case in June? Will the Vasil hard fork cause the price of ADA to rally? We shall see. Very exciting to be along the journey. You all know we're here for the long run. It's a very exciting time to be a Cardano holder. All right, everyone. Well, that is what I have for you all here in this video today. There are so many things that are taking place right now within the Cardano ecosystem. I really do hope that you all enjoyed this content. And if you did find some value from it, again, please be sure to drop a like for me. It definitely does help our channel grow. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.